Casper. Wat warm.
Nothing, just thinking about how skinny and handsome I used to be.
Yeah, you used to be. But what are you going to do about it?
What to do? What to do indeed. Losing weight starts with the right diet and the right ingredients. Today we're gonna make one of my favorite dishes. Wraps with poached chicken and homemade pico de gallo. Let's take a look. So first we're gonna make the pico de gallo. Pico de gallo is sort of tomato salsa, which we'll be putting over the poached chicken. And first we're going to start by cutting our tomatoes.
The important thing is to cut them into roughly the same size chunks. Something I have quite a bit of trouble with, seeing that this knife isn't very sharp. In retrospect, I would cut these chunks even finer.
So now we are going to draw out some of the moisture of the tomatoes by pouring salt over it.
And you find the hand technique better than the elbow technique of pouring salt and peppers over?
It's always good form to measure in your hand before you throw in any ingredients. I assume you're referring to the Turkish chef, of who I am not a big fan. I think he looks like a pervert.
Now, besides some red onion, we'll also add some garlic. You can press this with a garlic press. I prefer to mince them by hand.
Hey, what the fuck? Why don't you tell us, Berend?
You're the history expert on this channel, so I really want to hear your opinion about it.
Wait a minute. There's not a grinder on this thing. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. So, we ran into a little problem just now. Oh, Berend.
Hi.
Glad you could sober up. So, now that we are continuing, so I bought this pepper, and now I don't know what kind of reprobate sells pepper without a grinder. So I had to find a grinder. Luckily, we found this, which has a grinder in it. We are going to, let's see, yes. I think this will work. I genuinely think this will work. So now this contains black pepper. Oh, beautiful!
Yes, it's looking delicious, Casper.
Thank you.
And the dish is also looking delicious.
And now finally, a chili pepper.
Ooh. You're not going to make it too spicy, right?
I'll try not to.
Normally I'd use a Jalapeño or habanero unfortunately the store had neither, so unfortunately we had to use a chili pepper. As you can see, I like to cut the pepper quite finely so that the heat will be distributed evenly.
So now we're mixing up the pico de gallo. Oh, almost forgot. I also need to put in some olive oil.
Actually, this pico de gallo still needs some cilantro and a bit of lime juice. I'm not a big fan of cilantro, so I didn't put it in, but it definitely does still need some lime juice.
That's the pico de gallo. Now it's always important to taste. Yeah. That's the right amount of heat. So now we are going to make the poached chicken. So here we have chicken breast. Fun fact, chicken used to be kind of a luxury product until we found ways to make chickens grow grotesquely big. So normally chicken breast has a darker color than this. But you can see the chicken has sort of like white lines, which is a product of their abnormal growth, but tastes fine. Poaching is slowly simmering in water, not boiling. You try to go for about 80 degrees Celsius, which will give a very tender chicken breast. If you do it right, you can't possibly overcook it. Because ironically, if you overcook it, it becomes dry. Mm-hmm.
Is it safe to eat chicken raw?
No, why are you retarded?
No, but actually, because I heard that you need to really cook well the chicken, otherwise there's a high risk of getting something.
Yeah, salmonella dies at about 70 degrees Celsius, I believe.
So if you open the chicken meat and it's a bit raw inside, that's the question.
You likely, I mean, like, you know, there will be salmonella present, but even if there's salmonella present, it isn't guaranteed that you'll get sick. But it's just like the kind of chance, like, why would you take that chance? We have our aromatics in here now, which are the onion and the garlic. Now we're going to put in some salt. Here we go. Some of the pepper.
That's a general amount of pepper.
Yeah, there's not a lot of pepper coming out. And you do want to be generous because you won't be eating all of it. Which is also why I put in quite an amount of salt. Because most of the salt will stay in the water, which we are going to discard in the end. Now we are going to put in the final ingredient, which is paprika powder. Ooh, that's quite a lot. And I also just kind of eyeball it. I don't, because you can't taste it at this point.
So what are the
measurements?
how many people you cook now, and what
This,
do we need to buy?
I would say one chicken breast per person.
How many grams?
So that's like 150 grams of meat per person.
Yeah, like now we saw things on the board, and we saw chicken to cook. Like, is it for 4 people now?
Yeah, it's actually 5 people, but that's because it came in packages of 5. So we are now going to, oh, wrong. We are now going to bring this up to a simmer. Now this is a very thin pot, so I'm not going to put the heat on high. So we'll bring this up to a simmer, and in about half an hour the chicken breasts will be done.
In the meantime, you can do many things like satisfy your dog's food fetish, but we'll be frying up some beans.
So, I just strained some black beans, and I will be warming these beans up on a very low temperature with some cumin, which is always nice, cumin, quite a generous amount. So we're just going to very gently warm up these beans with the cumin, which is going to smell amazing. The chicken is on poaching now, and if we did it correctly, we should have very tender chicken. Yes. It pulls apart quite easily. Okay, so as you can see, we ended up with an absolute mountain of chicken. Tastes pretty good. We also warmed up some black beans with cumin, and we'll be using our homemade pico de gallo or salsa. And we'll be using these very cute pancakes, which have no convenient way to open them. Which are made with carrot.
Now I preheat the oven to 100 degrees Celsius.
Okay, so normally I use a microwave for the next part. We don't have a microwave, so we're going to do another little trick, which is to put a bit of moisture on the tortillas and warm it up in a 100-degree oven. Now, of course, this is not optimal, but it'll have to do. I think it should take about a minute. So these should be done by now. They're still soft, so I think it worked. They smell very carroty. So now as for the assembly. So first we're going to use some chicken. Then some beans. Then some of our homemade pico de gallo. But for this I would normally prefer a bigger pancake, but we'll just have to make do. So first we fold it like this, and then we roll it over. And we try to roll it tightly. And there we have it. A wrap.
Yeah. So how is it?
Absolutely amazing, because I made it.